I'm Kendra Otto. We are with Michelle Evans from the Andis Clipper Company, and she's going to demonstrate a show trim or a pet trim on Bailey today.
This is a pet trim.
Okay, so this is something you do every day in your shop for your client.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what are you going to use on him?
Well, I'm going to brush him out first, and then I'm going to be using the Ultra Edge Special Edition clipper in purple to do that. We've got that in 5 different colors with a ceramic edge 10 blade.
Okay.
And some of our new steel magnetic combs attachments.
Good to know.
So I'm just brushing him out. Andis came out with some new hand tools, and these are really nice. I really love this brush, and all of the hand tools are right around $10.
That makes it pretty affordable for the average pet stylist.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is the comb I'm using too. They came out with some new combs. I got a couple of different styles, but this is the Liz Paul style, and it has a detailer on one end with the teeth really close together for doing around your feet and between your toes, around your faces and ears, and then the rest of it is a nice long deep comb just to be picking your coat and combing through just for general everyday use in the shop.
And if you're looking for lift, that's going to give you some serious lift when you're scissoring your legs or your top knot.
Yes, you can see how it picks through the coat really nicely. It stretches it, but it doesn't overstretch it, which is really, really nice. Okay, so we got him all brushed out, and we're going to go ahead and start setting in some of his lines here now. So we're going to take a number 4 blade. This is an Andis 4 blade. It's a 4FC, and I'm going to just set his throat in here a little bit. When you're doing underneath the jawline, it's always a good idea to come up into like a V under here so that you get a nice, so that you get your head to be really separated from your neck. Gives them, you can see how by taking this coat out underneath, it really makes the neck look longer. Just kind of skim straight off right there. Just underneath the ear, you'll see me take some hair off there. That'll give him some more neck and help reduce the length of his body overall. I'm also going to use the 4 to do the outside of the ear leather. It'll give it a nice velvety look. Now, since this is not an actual Bichon trim, we've put kind of a pet ear on here. You can see that it's shaved out underneath. We did that with the Pulse Ion earlier. So you can see how nice and velvety that 4FC makes that. Cleans that up really good. This is a really good trim for dogs that have ear infections or any kind of a problem like that. Dogs that don't like to have the hair pulled out of their ears, because you can trim all the hair away from the ear opening before you pull the ear hair in it.
That's a really good idea. Now, is there a proper way that they should be, if you want to use a clipper on an ear, is there a proper way you should do it?
Yeah, anytime you are shaving an ear leather, you should hold the ear leather flat and work your clipper toward the outside edge all the way around, because if you were to turn your clipper onto the side, you could actually catch the ear leather, and that's not going to be a good idea. Now I'm going to use the Pulse Ion on a 15 setting. This is an adjustable blade clipper that adjusts from a 9 through a 30, and I've put it on the center setting, which is a 15. And I'm actually just going to take and edge the ear with that as well. This is a huge time saver in the grooming shop. So you can just edge right around that.
Now, are you holding the ear leather behind your hand and just kind of matching?
Yeah, you can see how I'm holding it flat and just kind of taking the clipper right over the edge. This is really good for new groomers who are afraid to take scissors to the edge of the ear too.
That's good, and that would work. Would that work pretty well on a cropped schnauzer ear too?
Yes, it would. You can just hold your ear leather. The key to it is to make sure that the clipper is perpendicular to the ear leather. You wouldn't want to do it this way. You have to keep it this way. Okay, so now we will change to the 10 ceramic edge blade, and we are going to put a number 1 steel magnetic comb on. These are adjustable from a 30 to a 10, and since we have a 10 blade here, we'll adjust that to a 10 setting and put that on. You just basically hook the teeth over the end of the blade itself and then just let it go, and you saw how the magnet just kind of just sucks it right on there. You can see how it just snaps right on, and it will not come off. You can move it around and bump it, and it does not come off. So I'm going to set in the shoulder here. I'm just going to take right up behind my ear leather here, and I'm going to make an arcing line right to my elbow coat. And I'm dropping straight off the side of the dog. I'm just drawing a straight line to the floor as I go along the side of the dog. I'm going to go ahead and take off the brisket coat too, the forechest here. So we're just going to bring our clipper right on in underneath the dog until we bump the front leg right there. Good boy. I'm also going to use the one blade to set the rear angulation. So I'm basically just going to find the bend of the leg. And this is still the number 1. We're just going to go right up back here. Take all that right off the back.
Can you show people how to find the bend of a leg?
You just bend the leg, and you can see there where it bends. That's where I set my clipper in and went straight up right there.
Thank you.
He looks a little bit chubby to me. So I think that if we get some of this hair off down underneath here, it's going to make him look a little sportier, a little trimmer, maybe not like so much of a couch potato. So I'm just going to take right here from underneath the front leg, all this off under here with a little bit shorter blade to get that to come up some. And you can see the difference that makes in his profile to get him up so he doesn't look quite so chubby. Now I'm going to change to a 0 comb and set in our top line. Top line is from your elbow coat. If you just draw a line here, from your elbow coat back. And I'm going to go ahead and use this right on the rib spring as well too. Just right here where the ribs are, we're just going to go ahead and use a 0 on that as well.
Now, is that magnet, that's recessed in plastic, right? It's not just glued in?
Right, yeah. That magnet is there to stay, that's for sure. So you can see that it's right down in there. So that's not going to be coming out.
That's good to know. It's not going to fall off or anything.
No, it's really on there. I always have people kind of try to get it off, and they're amazed at how hard they are to get off.
I find mine actually, if I have my attachment comb on my clipper and it's sitting in the drawer, sometimes it'll pick up my comb with it.
Yes, I find that too.
So it's an industrial strength magnet, so.
They're really worth it, so they really do their job. All right, so the rest of this we would do with scissors. Which are over there. So that's probably that probably gives you a good idea of how the snap-on combs work. And the Ultra Edge clippers now come in 5 colors. So that's about all.
Do they make them in pink for people that love pink? I know purple's new and it's a fabulous color, but I know there's also pink fans out there.
We have pink, yes. We have pink, we have purple, burgundy, blue, and silver.
All right, well, good to know. And I think purple and pink are probably, did they just come out? I haven't seen them before.
Yeah, they're brand new. They're just out now.
Oh, all right. So maybe like within the last week or so. Well, thank you very much. And I'm going to have to go look for that purple clipper.
Good.
Thank you, Michelle. And we are back with Michelle Evans from Andis. She's going to show us how to do Bailey's head and set in a neckline.
Yeah, okay. So this is a pet Bichon head. You can see that we have trimmed the ears here. We used the Pulse Ion, which is Andis's new lithium-ion battery cordless clipper, rechargeable, and it has 5 different settings. And we did the inside of his ear and the edge of his ear with the 15. So we used it like this to do the edge and flat on there for the 15. And then we did the outside with a 4. And so this, you can see, is not a traditional show Bichon head, but rather a pet head. So we're going to do the muzzle with a 1 blade.
Is that the magnetic attachment comb?
These are the brand new steel magnetic combs from Andis. It's got a magnet that holds it on, And this is the number 1. This is an adjustable attachment comb that adjusts either to fit a 10 or a 30. So I'm just going to set that for a 10 and put it on over our Ultra Edge 10 blade here. And we are going to do his muzzle with the 1 comb. So we're just going to go in here and just clean up his whole muzzle area with a 1 comb. I'll go with and against the lay of the hair. So right now I'm going with. And then I'll come in and go against. This is a really great trim for people who have a Bichon but don't want the big round head on it.
We do this a lot at the shop that I work at. A lot of them tend to get a 1 on the entire head and ears, and they kind of go out looking like a baby seal. We hollow the eyes out, and they look really cute, but it's a modified pet head.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. You know, the thing about this kind of a coat is that it grows continuously. So, you know, throughout this dog's life, he could have a dozen different styles, just like myself.
Right, it's extremely versatile.
Yeah. So you can see we're just going to take that off right there, his whole muzzle area. So I'm just going from the corner of his eye to his ear there, and then blending this right off his muzzle, right into his body. And that just gives him a nice cleaned up little shape to his face, and then we'll finish that up with the shears. Now earlier I used the Pulse Ion on the 15 to take his eyelashes off right here. So we just bumped the eyelashes off in this fashion. So now we've already set part of our little visor in there.
And I noticed you only got the eyelashes. You did not shave above the eye.
Right, you can see it's just the eyelashes there.
A lot of times I've seen pet stylists shave above the eye on a poodle or even like a Bichon type trim, and sometimes it gives them that surprised look, and it's a little strange looking.
It is, yeah. They look a little softer and sweeter if they have a little bit of a little bit of a visor or bangs hanging over just a little bit. You can see I'm not leaving them too far, but just so that they're not straight up and down in the front.
Now, what kind of shears are you using?
These shears are Legacy shears by Ann Martin.
Oh, she's one very talented pet stylist. She shows poodles, and she's known for her international grooming competitions, Groom Team USA member, right?
Yes, she is. And she developed this line of shears a few years ago, and I really enjoy them.
They seem to cut very nice. I did try a pair at one time when she first came out with them, and unfortunately I was competing and I already had way too many shears, so I didn't need another pair of shears.
So I'm just going to round his little muzzle into kind of like a little round donut shape right around his muzzle.
You can see the way the hair is really it's taking length off, and the shears are actually doing what they need to do, but it's not leaving them really choppy or not folding at all.
Absolutely. No, it's a very functional shear. And using the snap-on combs to take the bulk of the length off saves a lot of time too in scissoring.
Yes, it does. And I know a lot of stylists out there think that, oh, shears are so expensive and I really don't want to put the money into them. But you know what? The more you spend on your shears, the better quality they're going to be, as well as the better finish work you're going to get from them.
Yeah, that's true. And having a good edge on them, finding a good sharpener too, that's another key to having success with shears and blades. Yeah.
Notice how she's folding the ear back and trimming off the hair behind the ear and right in front of the ear canal. You don't want to leave any sticky outies in those areas because they will poke out once they go home.
That's true. We've all had the dog leave the shop, but we wish we could stop on the way out and grab that last little bit. Okay. So his muzzle there, again, was a 1 comb. With and against the grain, and then all we had to do was kind of clean it up with the shears. And then we're going to take, right now he kind of looks like he's a little light bulb head. But we're going to take off the sides to get that to blend a little bit better. And I'm just going to come in just like a poodle for this style, right over the top of the ear. Straight up and down in there. And up over the other ear.
It's so nice to see different styles that you can put on either your mixed breeds or your Bichon. And everyone kind of has their own different styles of heads. I do this on several of my clients at the shop, but rather than your traditional longer ears, round head, plain look, it gives him a little bit of flair.
Absolutely. And by leaving the hair nice and long on the top of the head, he looks like he has a nice long neck from the side. And so now I'm going to show you how to blend the neck into the side of the head. Basically just going to put my scissor right in here and go kind of at a 45-degree angle down into the back line and blend that right off. And we already know that we need that elbow coat, that neckline to come in right behind that elbow coat right there. So we're going to start blending up into the neck at that point. And you can see how looks like he has a nice, pretty long neck.
Now, what I see your preference on trimming in the neckline. Is there a right or a wrong way to do it? I know there's differences of opinions, but
well, different breeds and different styles have different necklines. This dog, just for the pet trim that he is, I feel like having his neckline come in right behind his elbow is where I'd like to have that. Behind the coat on the elbow, not the elbow itself, is where I'd like to have his come in. Now, if you wanted to make him appear to be a more square dog or something, you could actually move your neckline back a little bit. But with me not following any particular breed standard on this dog, I can make up the rules as I go.
Excellent. And notice how she's not only coming in from behind the dog, but she's also going down into the neck and on the sides. So she's not just sticking with one pattern. It's correct to do it as many different ways as long as you get the same result, right?
Right. Yep. And especially when you're just trying to get the bulk of the coat off. The direction in which your shears go is more important when you're doing finishing work than it is when you're bolt cutting.
Right.
So I'm just kind of knocking off some coat right there to get the neckline in where I want it. And you can see it comes right down to that elbow coat. So then as far as the top of his head goes, once I get my neckline set, I can go back to look at the dog from the front and start to decide then how short to take that. You should never set your height of your top knot before you set your neckline. So since we did go ahead and set the neckline, now we can set the top of our top knot length. And for him today, that's probably about all we need to take off there. I'm giving this another comb, and I'm going to use the detailer end of this Andis comb to comb this forward. And I like to pull the sides in forward like this too as well, so I can really see any hairs that I might have missed around the eyes, and you can see that I missed a hair there.
It's always good to double and triple check your work just to make sure you don't want anything popping out when you go home or when the dog goes home, and then the owner going, you didn't take it short enough last time, when you really did. You just forgot to double, triple check your work.
Well, and especially the face.
Right, that's their first thing they see.
Owners see the face. So you could actually maybe not have the dog quite as perfect somewhere else, but they will not tolerate the face not being perfect.
Right.
Okay, so there's little Bailey.
Well, he looks beautiful. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.